Hello everyone, today is 23rd of March, now it's 20 to 11 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for a day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. And main topic of discussion right now, of course, is terrorist attack that took place yesterday, not far away from Moscow, in Krasnogorsk city area, when according to some reports, 6 gunmen enter Crocus City Hall and open fire on people. As a result of this terrorist attack, more than 60 civilians were killed, more than 100 wounded, many of them in very serious condition, and unfortunately numbers of casualties constantly changing. Tragedy, a huge tragedy, of course, and building, by the way, itself caught fire, and unfortunately many people was caught by this fire. They managed to hide from terrorists, from those gunmen, but eventually they were unable to run away from fire, and according to some reports, many people suffocated on different floors of that building. Building itself is almost entirely destroyed. Roof collapsed, and still search and rescue operation is on the way. And now everybody is asking question how this happened, what will be respond, who is behind this terrorist attack, and why there were no armed security on premises of Crocus City Hall, while concert, it was well known that concert of one of the musical groups supposed to take place, and there was thousands and thousands of people inside that building, Crocus City Hall. Many questions, of course, and investigative committee investigation will probably give us some answers today in upcoming days. And one of the main question is, of course, who is behind this terrorist attack. And even though Western politicians, Western ruling class was very quick to blame this terrorist attack on ISIS, here in Russia, if you take a look at the media, at the statements of experts, at the statements on social media platforms, you can see that majority of public and also experts are leaning towards the opinion that behind this terrorist attack is Ukraine, Zelensky's regime, and to be more precise, main intelligence directorate of Ukraine's defense ministry, organization that already known to be involved in terrorist activity on Russian soil. And head of that organization, Kirill Budanov, already stated himself several times during the interviews that Ukraine's main intelligence directorate is conducting terrorist attacks on Russian territory against Russian politicians, public figures, and civilians. And well, of course, more time is needed for investigation to give us answers. But as I said, majority of public is convinced that behind this attack is Ukraine. Several media outlets are reporting this morning that in Bryansk region, by the way, car was detained in which 4 suspects were driving towards Ukraine's border. According to reports, 2 of the suspects were detained, 2 ran away in nearby forest area, and search operation is underway. According to some other reports, all 4 suspects in this terrorist attack were detained. Even some names are circulating now on internet. But yet again, let's wait for investigation. Let's wait for investigation. Probably during the day we will learn some more. Maybe President of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, will make statement and will reveal to public more information about this horrible tragedy that happened yesterday. And well, as I said, many experts, many politicians are convinced that behind this terrorist attack is Kiev regime. And for example, one of their influential senators, most influential senators in Russia, Andrei Klishas, made a statement that behind this terrorist attack in Crocus City Hall is Western secret services. And this terrorist attack is part of this proxy war that Western states, collective West, is waging against Russia. And it is of course a possibility if Ukraine's main intelligence directorate was involved in this terrorist attack, and most likely that's the case, then I mean, it's hardly deniable that CIA is behind this terrorist attack also. And if CIA has nothing to do with this terrorist attack, then probably Kirill Budanov, head of this organization, will be neutralized by CIA itself. So if in upcoming days Budanov will be removed from office, or maybe even killed, most likely CIA leadership made decision to exterminate that terrorist, because even for them maybe this individual become a uncontrolled problem. Let's see yet again how will situation develop. Unfortunately, Russia is in this war that declared against Russia by collective West, and there is no guarantees that Kiev regime has no other terrorists inside Russia with orders to conduct this kind of terrorist attacks. So the security services, police should be on alarm constantly, 24/7. 24/7, and I guess some decisions will be made in regards to police department of Krasnogorsk city, maybe even Moscow, although this Crocus City Hall was geographically speaking part of Krasnogorsk city area, although very close to, on outskirts of Moscow basically, and therefore probably we will see some changes in leadership of police in Krasnogorsk, because I cannot imagine how it's even possible that concert, by the way, was during, it was well known that there supposed to be concert. According to reports that I see, 6,000 tickets were sold. It was a large gathering, and why there was no armed police securing the area? I don't get it, man. I don't understand that. This is, big error, fatal error, I would say, on part of Krasnogorsk police, and the leadership of Krasnogorsk police should answer questions. I mean, how this even was possible that there was no security forces, armed security forces presented on the vicinity of that Crocus City Hall to make sure that, public is safe. This is not normal, by the way. This is just not normal. But yet again, of course, let's wait for investigation. Vast majority here in Russia convinced that behind this terrorist attack is Ukraine, but we need factual evidences and official statements, because without it, really hard to know for sure. Let's continue with some other news now, and Lenta.ru is reporting that during the recent missile and drone strikes that Russian armed forces conducted on military and logistical infrastructure of Kiev regime, airfield was targeted in Khmelnytsky region, Staro-Konstantinov airfield, where Western US-made F-16 fighter jets supposed to be deployed and operated too. RT is also reporting that as a result of yesterday's missile and drone strikes on military and logistical infrastructure of Kiev regime, one of the directions of Russian, one of the tasks of Russian strikes was energy infrastructure of Kiev regime, because of course to deploy armed forces, to move armed forces, military equipment around Ukraine, railway is used often, and well, energy facilities were targeted, and there were some severe outages of power all around Ukraine. Some may say that too late. I mean, maybe this strike supposed to happen during the winter time, several months ago. Yes, one may argue that well, maybe it was supposed to be prioritized to take out power plants of Kiev regime in the winter time. But by the way, Russia is not fighting against civilians, and if Russian side will take out energy facilities in winter, can you imagine extreme conditions that ordinary citizens of Ukraine will end up? And therefore, I guess decision was made not to strike energy facilities during the winter. And now, when weather is warmer, Russian side is beginning strikes on energy infrastructure of Kiev regime to make sure that Zelensky and his criminal associates would not be able to use railway, for example, as freely as they're used to during the winter time, and also to make sure that whatever is left from military-industrial complex of Kiev regime is experiencing some issues to produce whatever they are producing. RIA Novosti is reporting that head of U.S. military committee made statement that NATO is ready for war with Russia. Let me give you name of this individual. Rob Bauer, yes, head of NATO's military committee, made this statement. Yet again, this scare mongering tactic is not going away in the West. In the Western media, they are trying to scare people on daily basis with war with Russia, and under this premise, they are stealing tens of billions of dollars in US, euros in Europe from taxpayers. That's all. Everybody who has more or less adequate level of information knows perfectly well that Russia has no plans to attack NATO, and if not provoked, Russia will not attack anybody ever. Everyone knows this who has some information, but unfortunately, vast majority of society in the West, of course, are under heavy influence of propaganda of the Western ruling class, and they believe any crap they see on CNN, BBC, France 24, or whatever propaganda outlets they have there. RT is reporting that Kremlin, by the way, spokesperson of Russian President Dmitry Peskov made quite an interesting statement yesterday. Interesting choosing of words or wording. So let's go through this news. Russia's military operation in Ukraine has turned into full-fledged war after the West became participant in this conflict, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said in an interview with the national media published on Friday. Moscow will continue to pursue its goals of ensuring that the Ukrainian military cannot pose a threat to Russian citizens or territory. The spokesman told the Argumenty Fakty newspaper, nothing that the country now has 4 new federal subjects which must be protected and fully liberated from Kiev's forces. Peskov stressed that Russia cannot allow the existence on its border of the state that publicly claims it will seize the Crimea Peninsula as well as Russia's new territories, referring to the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics and also Zaporozhye and Kherson regions. We are at war, Peskov stated, explaining that while the conflict began as a special military operation, as soon as the collective West became participant in this in this on the side of Ukraine, for us it become a war. Yet again, very interesting choosing of words, and maybe we can interpret these statements of Peskov as a kind of indicator that Russian strategy may change in near future, because I mean, it's the first time that Russian official, and in this particular case representative of the Kremlin, is using word war, and well, let's see what implications this changing of wording will have on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised at all if in upcoming weeks we will hear about new wave of mobilization here in Russia. I expect mobilization to happen, and I expect serious preparations to begin for decisive preparations. Already are on the way, but I guess mobilization of additional number of reservists will participate in better preparations of the decisive actions that most likely Russia will take in upcoming months. Let's see. I mean, my understanding of the situation may be wrong. I don't know, but this is first time when I see Peskov or any other high-ranking official is using this wording, that we are at war. I use this wording, by the way. I'm always saying that Western ruling elites are waging war against Russia, so we are at war. But I'm ordinary citizen from high-ranking official. This is first time, if I'm not mistaken, when these words have been used, this wording. RIA Novosti is reporting that, well, according to official head of Russian delegation in UN, permanent mission in UN, Nebezhny, Vasily Nebezhny, Paris has to know, French leadership have to know and take in account that French troops, if they are deployed in Ukraine, will become priority target for Russian armed forces. And well, this warning goes not just to leadership of France. I believe this warning can be sent to. This warning should be received by all the other NATO member states also, because it's clear, Moscow is quite clear that NATO troops in Ukraine will be priority targets for Russian armed forces, especially if those troops are deployed in outside of Western Ukraine. If they will stay only in Western Ukraine, that's another story. Still, some skirmishes may happen, some confrontation between Russian and NATO forces, if those NATO forces stay just in Western Ukraine. But if they will move towards Odessa region, for example, or towards Sumy, Chernigov, Kharkov region, or towards Kiev, or maybe even towards front line in on Donetsk sector or Zaporozhye sector, then of course Moscow is quite clear that those troops of NATO will be targeted and destroyed. Lenta.ru is reporting that during the previous night, Russian air defense systems shut down 12 Ukrainian drones over their 4 Russian regions, precisely Bryansk region, Belgorod region, Voronezh region, and Saratov region. Although, unfortunately, Ukrainian drone managed to bypass Russian air defense systems and conduct strike on oil refinery, Kuibyshev oil refinery in Samara region, and Kiev regime was also trying to strike another oil refinery in same region, in Samara region, but in that case Ukrainian drone was shut down. TASS news agency is also reporting that according to Financial Times, US was demanding from Kiev regime to stop targeting oil refineries on Russian territory because this continuation of these strikes will eventually have impact on oil prices on the world market, which is inevitable, by the way. I guess at this point Russia is forced to conduct some further cuts in oil production, oil exports, because of the damage that was done in previous 2 weeks to oil refineries here in Russia, and prices already are on the rise. And if these strikes continue, then it is obvious that eventually we will have some hike in oil prices on the world market, not just oil, crude itself, but also oil products, because Russia is a major exporter of crude oil and also oil products, diesel, gasoline, and so on. RT is reporting, and I will end this update on this news, that Germany is planning to allocate for Kiev regime additional 300 million euros to arm Ukrainian terrorists. Okay, just a few days ago, media was reporting, and I shared this information with you, that Germany allocated 500 million to arm Ukrainian terrorists, and now we have information that Berlin is allocating another 300 million to arm those terrorists and mass murderers in Ukraine. So it is what it is. While Bundeswehr, German Defense Ministry, has a 6 billion hole in the budget for 2025, Berlin is allocating just in the last 2 weeks some 800 million euros to arm and support terrorists that are and mass murderers that are in charge of Ukraine, running and ruining that country. Okay, maybe it is time for Moscow to designate Germany as a country that supports terrorists, and all the other NATO member states that are sending weapons to Ukrainian terrorists. I mean, it is time to do so, I believe, because that's what they do, really. They are arming terrorists and mass murderers and supporting them as much as they can. So all those countries from Collective West should be designated as supporters of terrorists. That's it. I will end this relatively short update now, and of course during the day I will update my Telegram channel with additional news, and if any breaking news during the day, later on I may have second video update. Also, this is it for now. If you find this video informative, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about any topic you like. More likes and comments are helping to deal with the algorithms on both platforms, Rumble and YouTube. And if you want, you can support my work with small donations through PayPal, Boosty, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. All the links are under this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great, peaceful day and take care.